Hello everyone. Have you ever heard the claim that the Quran is a revelation from Allah, that all same throughout the whole world, and has never changed since the time of Muhammad? Well, in this video, I will explain why that claim is a lie. Therefore, watch this video until the end, okay? The Quran is the primary holy book of Muslims, and it can be said that it is something they are most proud of. They take pride in the Quran because they believe it is a revelation directly sent down by Allah, and has remained intact until now. But of course, this is a lie. We need to understand that Muslims are taught to memorize the Quran, but not to understand its contents. Even Arab Muslims, who use Arabic in their daily conversations, do not fully understand what is actually written in the Quran. They are willing to spend time memorizing without understanding, because they are told they will receive rewards from Allah if they can memorize the Quran. So they spend a lot of time memorizing it, and never have time to question it. Even if they do question it, they are taught to just believe, and not to question. Therefore, many of them do not have the time to learn about how the Quran became a book. Many ordinary Muslims think that the Quran is a book that fell from the sky. According to the Islamic version of the story, the Quran was revealed by Allah to Muhammad through the angel Gabriel. The first question that should arise is whether there were any witnesses who saw Muhammad actually meeting with the angel Gabriel. The answer is no. This means it was Muhammad himself who claimed that he met with the angel Gabriel and received revelations. But Muslims are forbidden to question this, and are required to blindly believe that Muhammad is a prophet. According to the Islamic version of the story, Muhammad started receiving revelations in the year 610. After receiving the revelations, Muhammad immediately instructed his followers to memorize them, or write them on stones, bones, animal skins, or whatever they could find. Muhammad died in the year 632, and only after that, his successor named Abu Bakr took the initiative to instruct someone named Zayd bin Thabit to gather all the revelations Muhammad had received and compile them into a book. This book was kept by Abu Bakr. And after Abu Bakr died, it was kept by Hafsa bint Umar, who was Muhammad's widow, and also the daughter of Umar, Abu Bakr's successor. So, did Muhammad ever verify that the contents of the book were the revelations he received? Of course not. Because Muhammad had died when the Quran became a book. Then after Umar died, his successor named Uthman found that there were several different versions of the Quran circulating among the people. Therefore, he again instructed Zayd bin Thabit to compile the Quran again in the Quraysh dialect. After the Quran in the Quraysh dialect was completed, Uthman sent copies of this Quran to the conquered regions and ordered that all other versions of the Quran be burned, including the one kept by Hafsa bint Umar. Muslims who are somewhat knowledgeable, who already know that the Quran is not a book that fell from the sky, know this story, and believe that the Quran they hold today is exactly the same as the Quran standardized by Uthman. From the Islamic version of this story alone, many questions actually arise, such as whether Uthman's version of the Quran is truly the revelation received by Muhammad. There is no way to prove that Uthman's version of the Quran is truly the revelation received by Muhammad. What is certain is that Uthman's version of the Quran is different from Abu Bakr's version. Because if they were the same, Uthman would have simply ordered people to copy it, not instructed Zayd bin Thabit to compile it again. If we read further from Islamic sources, we will find strong evidence that Uthman's version of the Quran has been corrupted. The first evidence is the existence of Abdullah bin Mas'ud's Codex and Ubay bin Ka'b's Codex, which prove the omission of several surahs. The second is a statement from Muhammad's widow, Aisha, who said that parts of the Quran, regarding the laws of adult breastfeeding and stoning, were lost and eaten by an animal. The third is the belief in Shia Islam, which is loyal to the tradition of Ali bin Abi Talib, that Uthman's version of the Quran is already corrupt. Additionally, it is recorded in Islamic history that between the years 685 to 705, during the Umayyad dynasty, Abdul Malik bin Marwan ordered al-Hajjaj bin Yusuf to repeat what Uthman had done. That is to modify and standardize the contents of the Quran and burn other versions circulating among the people again. From the 7th century until now, the Quran has undergone multiple editing processes. The last process of editing and standardization of the Quran occurred in 1924 in Cairo, Egypt. Usually, Muslims cannot accept that the Quran has undergone multiple changes, and will deny it by saying the Quran is the same worldwide. This is also a lie. The most widely circulated Quran in the world today is the Hafs version. Besides the Hafs version, there is still the Warsh version circulating in Morocco, the Kalin version circulating in Egypt, the Al-Duri version circulating in Sudan, and many other Arabic versions of Quran circulating in other regions of the world. Most Muslims today do not know that the Quran has several versions in Arabic. When they find out, they will be surprised and ask their scholars. And their scholars will say that these are just dialect differences called qira'at, with no difference in meaning. This is also another lie, to cover the first lie. In reality, there are many differences in meaning among the various Arabic versions of the Quran. We cannot discuss all the differences between these versions in this video, because there are too many. So in this video, I will only provide one example of the difference between the Hafs and Warsh versions of the Quran. In Quran Surah 2 verse 184 of the Hafs version, the word ta'am miskinin is written, meaning food for one poor person. While in Quran Surah 2 verse 184 of the Warsh version, ta'imi masakina is written, meaning food for many poor people. This verse talks about the obligation of a Muslim who fails to observe fasting. In the Hafs version of the Quran, a Muslim must compensate by feeding one poor person. While in the Warsh version, they must feed more than 2 poor people. So, this one verse alone proves that the differences in various Arabic versions of the Quran are not just dialect differences, but differences in meaning that affect religious practice. If the Warsh version of the Quran is correct, then the substitute fasting practices of all Muslims following the Hafs version would not be accepted by their deity. Muslims often try to defend their lies by saying that the Quran was indeed revealed to Muhammad in 7 araf or 7 qira'at, so the differences do not matter and are still accepted by their deity. But of course, this is also another lie to cover the previous lies. The issue of the 7 araf should have been resolved when the Quran was standardized by Uthman, as we discussed earlier. However, what is called the 7 qira'at are 7 versions of the Arabic Quran, created by imams, who were born hundreds of years after Muhammad and Uthman died. These imams are Nafi, Ibn Kathir, Hamza, Asim, Abu Amir, Al-Kisai, and Ibn Amir. The person who established these 7 versions of the Quran was named Ibn Mujahid, who lived in the 10th century. Moreover, the popular versions of the Quran circulating in the world today are the Hafs, Warsh, Kalin, Al-Duri, and others. These names are not included in the 7 names established by Ibn Mujahid. Additionally, there are not just 7 versions of the Arabic Quran now, but around 30. Therefore, the claim that the Quran is the same worldwide and unchanged since Muhammad's time is a lie. Well, now you know that the claim that the Quran is the same worldwide and has never changed since the time of Muhammad is a lie. Therefore, if you find this video useful, give a thumbs up and share this video as much as possible. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet. Additionally, everything I shared in this video is also written in a book I wrote. There is a lot of other information you can find in my book, and you can get it for free. The way is simply go to the address, bit.ly/popular deceptions about Islam. You are free to read, print, share, and even sell it, without needing my permission, or giving me anything. However, if you'd like to support me, you can do it through patreon.com/openbiblica. That's all for this video. See you in the next one.
الله ليس كبير، الله ليس كبير، واشهد أن هناك الكثير مع الله، واشهد أن هناك الكثير مع الله، واشهد أن محمدا ليس رسول الله، واشهد أن محمدا ليس رسول الله. ليس هناك فائدة من الصلاة، ليس هناك فائدة من الصلاة، وليس نحوم النجاة، وليس نحوم النجاة. الله ليس كبيرا، الله ليس كبيرا، هناك كثيرا جانب الله، هناك كثيرا جانب الله.